No, 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 no. They won't say a word, but everybody's gonna know. Hey everyone, Henry Yellow here. Welcome back. Right now we are going to watch How Green Was My Valley, directed by John Ford. If you're new to this channel, right now I am rotating between three directors: Akira Kurosawa, John Ford, and Orson Welles. But since Christmas is just around the corner, I'm going to watch this John Ford movie, and then the next three YouTube reactions, I will be reacting to Christmas movies, and I've already selected which three Christmas movies I'm going to watch. So after that, we will come back to the rotation again. Because usually I will do three movies from each director and then I just keep rotating. So this movie right now is the first movie of the John Ford rotation, and then after that, three Christmas movies, and then the other two John Ford movies will continue on as usual. If you'd like to see my full reaction to this movie, then you can check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Of course, remember to subscribe and turn on your post notifications if you enjoy watching these kinds of reactions to classics like this movie. So, are you ready for How Green Was My Valley? Let's go.
I am packing my belongings in the shawl my mother used to wear when she went to the market. And I am going from my valley. I am leaving behind me my 50 years of memory. Memory. There is no fence nor hedge round time that is gone. You can go back and have what you like of it, if you can remember. And I see it as it was when I was a boy. Green it was and possessed of the plenty of the earth. Everything I ever learnt as a small boy came from my father. The simple lessons he taught me are as sharp and clear in my mind as if I had heard them only yesterday. I can hear even now the voice of my sister Ankharad. Coal miners were my father and all my brothers, and proud of their trade.
Willem Morgan, £3.7.
By the way he called Hugh and Angharad, that sounded like Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Then came the scrubbing out in the backyard as my father and brothers scrubbed the coal dust from their backs. Most would come off them, but some would stay for life. There was never any talk while we were eating. I never met anybody whose talk was better than good food. For if my father was the head of our house, my mother was its heart. No one in our valley had ever seen a bank. We kept our savings on the mantelpiece. My father used to say that money was made to be spent, but always with a purpose. Then straight to Mrs. Tussle, the shop, for that toffee which you could chew for hours, it seems to me now. It makes me think of so much that was good, that is gone.
Childhood memories.
It was on this afternoon that I first saw Bronwyn.
Dear, as lovely you are.
I think I fell in love with Bronwyn then.
I'm so proud for Eva. Seems only a few months since he was scratching around here like this one, with his mouth open. This is Bronwyn, Hugh, who's to be your sister.
Be careful of the basket. There's shortcake in it.
He can't take his eyes off her.
Bronwyn and Ivor were to be married by the new preacher, Mr. Griffith, who had come from the university at Cardiff.
Love at first sight. Oh. The They saved it.
Here's a man won't get drunk, can't get drunk, shan't get drunk. From me I heel to my toe, from my toe to my knee.
He has good balance. That tongue. Wait. The scale of wages will be reduced. They cut their salary.
Find Di Griffiths and Edith John and bring them to Mr. Evans' office.
Will we come with you?
No, this is a matter for the older men.
They probably don't have a union here.
The cut is only a few shillings. There will still be plenty for all of us. A bit of supper now, is it, girl?
The men from Dowlis came to the colliery willing to work for any wage, so all our wages must come down.
They'll cut us again and still again, until they have this, as empty as their promises.
Why should the owners pay more if the men are willing to work for less?
Because the owners are not savages.
They have power and we have none.
How will we get power then?
From a union of all the men.
I never thought I'd hear my own sons talking socialist nonsense.
Unless we stand together.
I've had enough of this talk.
So it's because there's an overabundance or oversupply of workers, people who are willing to work for much less.
Do you think I'll let them make my father stand like a dog in the rain and not raise my hands to stop it?
Who gave you permission to speak?
This matter is too important for silence.
Let us all stand together and see how they will act then.
I will not be the excuse for any strike.
But if they learn they can do things like that to the spokesman, what will they try and do to the men?
We will see. Hold your tongue until you have permission to speak
I
at
will
table.
speak against injustice anywhere, with permission or without it.
Tell your father you're sorry.
I'm not sorry.
We are not questioning your authority, sir. But if manners prevent our speaking the truth, we will be without manners.
They were still being very polite. Indeed, they're not trying to go against their father, they're just trying to protect him. Because they know if this continues on, eventually the workers will be paid less than peanuts, and yet they will be worked to the bone. It's so sad that this is the reason the family is separating.
Man has struck. Something has gone out of this valley that may never be replaced. 22 weeks the men were out as the strike moved into winter.
Whoa, 22 weeks!
As empty bellets and desperation began to conquer reason. They knew that my father had opposed the strike. And now it was they who opposed him.
Why? Was the father still continuing to work and earning income? If not, then you're all in the same boat. But of course, they all have to have a villain in their heads. They can't oppose the company, so they oppose a person.
There's a meeting of the men in the hills tonight, is it? You will take me there.
Oh, no, Mother. It is no place for women.
There's a place for this woman there tonight. On my soul. I have come up here to tell you what I think of you all, because you're talking against my husband. He will do nothing against you, and he never has, and you know it well. To say he is with the owners is not only nonsense, but downright wickedness. If harm comes to my Gwilym, I will find out the men, and I will kill them with my 2 hands. This I will swear by God Almighty.
She's a good mother, a good wife. Oh no. Oh my goodness, must be freezing.
You're breeding horses in this family, Mr. Morgan.
What does that mean?
This boy should be in his coffin for my part. But I can't promise that he'll ever walk again. Nature must take her course.
He might never walk again? And the mother?
Are you afraid, boy? You heard what the doctor said?
Yes, sir.
And you believed it?
Yes, sir.
Then you must have faith. And if you have, you will walk again, no matter what all the doctors say. You will see the first daffodil out in the mountain. Will you?
Indeed I will, sir.
Then you will.
Mr. Griffith gave Hugh faith and hope.
You better be going in now, you'll catch your death.
Will you be coming to supper soon?
Later, when you're finished with doctors and such.
The 2 women being nosy in the distance.
All the noble books which have lived in my mind ever since. And always I hoped and kept my faith. My mother was still upstairs, and we could talk to each other with tappings.
Oh, I'm glad the mother is also doing fine. Oh, that's a cute birds. That's how they sound like?
The old snow got into it. There is a wife you have, resting in her bed and letting strangers care for her family.
There is a wife I have, then.
Her boys came back.
Yanto, I haven't seen you in chapel lately.
I have been busy with the union.
Unions are the work of the devil. You will come to no good end.
Unions are the work of the devil, wow.
You make yourselves out to be shepherds of the flock, and yet you allow your sheep to live in filth and poverty. You calm them by telling them their suffering is the will of God.
Have your union. Alone you are weak. Together you're strong. But remember that with strength goes responsibility to others and yourselves.
Are you coming outside your position in life, Mr. Griffith?
My business is anything that comes between man and the Spirit of God.
The deacon shall hear that you've been preaching socialism.
Certain beliefs are ridiculous.
There's a man for you spoiling his good handkerchief. You are king in the chapel, but I will be queen in my own kitchen.
You will be queen wherever you walk.
Smooth talk.
I have no right to speak to you so.
If the right is mine to give, you have it.
Then the strike was settled, with the help of Mr. Griffith and my father. But not all of them, for there were too many now for the jobs open.
I see they limited the amount of workers.
In Cardiff, the men are standing in line to have bread from the government. We will have our share of the box and go.
Where will you go?
America.
America. My babies.
They're going out to find other opportunities.
This is only the beginning. Then all of you will go. One after the other, all of you.
I will never leave you, Mama.
If you should ever leave me, I'll be sorry I ever had babies.
Why did you have them?
To keep my hands in water and my face with the fire, perhaps.
What a question.
The daffodils are out, Mama.
Oh, Hugh.
Where are your clothes, boy?
Under my pillow.
And you shall bring back a posy fit for a queen for your brave mother.
Indeed I will, sir.
Mr. Griffith carried him all the way up the hill.
You can walk, Hugh, if you try. You can walk. 2. Walk! See? There's a good old man.
Good old man.
You've been lucky, Hugh. Lucky to suffer, or so God has given you a chance to make spirit within yourself. And by prayer, I don't mean shouting and mumbling and wallowing like a hog in religious sentiment. When you pray, think. Think well what you're saying. Make your thoughts into things that are solid. And that strength will become a part of you, body, mind, and spirit.
Like he said, a prayer is not just saying it and mumbling out the words. It's putting your thought and your spirit and be mindful of the words that you're saying.
Michael and Lewis, your sins have found you out. You have brought a child into the world against the commandment. Prayer is wasted on your sort. Do you admit your sin?
David, leave her alone, you hypocrite!
Mr. Morgan.
You!
Sit down!
Cruel old men, groaning and nodding to hurt her more. That is not the word of God. Go thou and sin no more, Jesus said. What do you know about what could happen to a poor girl when she loves a man so much that even to lose sight of him for a moment is torture?
Was that hurt you? Easy now.
Angharad! Angharad! I am a man now. Kindly leave the kitchen.
So you're a man now, is it?
Wow, that savage.
Mr. Evans, the mine owner himself.
Oh,
Angharad.
I'm here to get your permission that my son, Yeston, may have permission. Bless you, Morgan.
Thank you, sir.
May have permission with your daughter's permission to call upon her. There we are.
Your son has my permission to speak to me. Beth! Come. My shoes. Get my shoes. Get your hand. My shoes! Find the shoe. Why don't you get your jackets on? Get your...
not good timing.
God bless you.
His feet must be cold.
I couldn't spend another night without knowing. Why have you changed towards me? Why am I a stranger now? Have I done anything?
Your mother spoke to me after chapel. She's happy to think you'll be having plenty all your days.
I don't want him. I want you.
Angharad,
She said it.
when I took up this work, I knew what it meant. And sacrifice, devotion. Do you think I will have you going threadbare all your life? Depending on the charity of others for your good meals? I can bear with such a life for the sake of my work.
It seems like he made his choice. Nosy neighbors again. Oh, and they're married. Ooh, that veil is really flying. I wonder, did Mr. Griffith, did he officiate the ceremony? Because that's an extra layer of
The
hurt.
bathtub holds 100 gallons. A fills it at the rate of 20 gallons a minute. B at the rate of 10 gallons a minute. C is a hole that empties it at the rate of 5 gallons a minute. How long fill the tub?
They're silly. Trying to fill a bathtub full of holes, indeed.
A sum it is, girl, a sum. Figures, nothing else. How many gallons and how long?
In a bathtub full of holes.
Math problems aren't supposed to be logical.
To go alone, the long walk over the hills to the next valley. The first of my family to have the privilege of attending a national school.
His father chooses to spend money on his education, his youngest son, the only son to go to school. That's nerve-wracking.
You're late.
He had to go across a valley.
What a dirty little sweep it is. A little genius from the coal pits. And they expect me to make a scholar of it. All right, come in.
No, you don't have to be an ass about it.
Your boots are muddy.
They were clean when I left home.
You'll address me as sir, or I'll put a stick about your back. Now sit down here.
Well, that's one way to discourage a child from attending school.
Come here, you dirty little sweep.
Children learn from adults.
Hey, you broke my pencil box!
Oh man. Oh my goodness. They're even less civilized than the coal miners. It goes to show you that even though you're attending a school doesn't mean that you're a good person.
Did you win, Hugh?
No.
They need to teach him how to box, how to fight. So the next time Hugh comes home, he can say, "You should look at the other guy."
Fight again. And when you come home, not another look will you get from me. Not another word.
A boy must fight, Beth.
Fight. Another beating like that and he will walk home dead.
Beating? Give the boy time, it will be he that's giving the beating, is it?
Di Bando is going to teach you to box, Hugh.
To fight first.
Good.
Too many call themselves boxers who are not even fighters.
So our little coal mining friend has been indulging in his favorite sport again, eh?
Put this in between your teeth.
Bite it hard.
The teacher did not interfere when he was the one getting a beating. Well, now someone's gotta go box the teacher.
Did you get that in school?
He has cut you to the bone, man.
Mr. Jonas is...
We'll have a word with Mr. Jonas.
No.
And why not?
Say the word, lad, and we will have the bones hot from his flesh.
No. Leave him alone.
I think our baby brother is becoming quite a man.
It's nice that he has brothers who would stand up for him.
Good morning, Mr.
Jonas.
Mr. Jonas. We have come to the
No.
right place indeed. How would you go about taking the measurement of a stick?
By its length, of course.
And how would you measure a man who would use a stick on a boy, 1/3 size? Tennis. To make a good boxer, you must have a good right hand, you see? And put your shoulder into it with your fist.
The gentleman is talking to you.
He looks dead.
But this, never use. It's against the rules. Break a man's nose. Now the...
Yeah, like I said, he looks dead. Well, it was satisfying to see that at least. Very satisfying indeed. He did worse to Hugh. Those few little slaps and punches, can't be compared to what he did to Hugh. What's happened? Is there a fire? Someone had an accident down in the mines.
Evil fell under a trap.
Oh no. That's the danger of working in a mine.
We have our first grandson, Gwyll.
Give one and take the other.
Tell that to that girl up there. She will have an answer for you.
With honors, then. Our son is a scholar. What will it be? To Cardiff to school, then the university? To be a lawyer, is it, or a doctor?
Oh, there is good, my little one. Now then, a glass of buttermilk for you with all your knowledge.
Yes, Mother. And some of brown shortcake.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Hugh. Only currant bread I made today. Nobody to eat it now.
I'll eat the currant cake.
I will go down the colliery with you, sir.
Have sense, boy. The colliery is no place for you. I only want the best for the boy.
If he is as good a man as you and his brothers, I will rest happy.
I am thinking of the boy's future. It was different in our day. Decide for yourself, but blame yourself if you are wrong.
The colliery, sir.
Where are you going?
To get drunk.
Braun? Would you have me to live in this house?
Your home is with your mother.
It was she who sent me. If you put clothes night and morning, let them be my clothes.
Good old man. Yes.
Good. Good. Good.
Did his mom really sent him to do that? It feels a little weird to me, but if it's his way of helping Braun go through her grief, then He could have done better, but he wanted to be like his brothers.
So it is a man now, is it?
And could I carry such a man?
£2.10. Discharge, Morgan.
They fired him, and all it took was a few seconds. Discharged, and that's it. You're fired. They didn't even explain why they fired him.
The best workers in the colliery, but too highly paid to compete with poorer, more desperate men.
Will you read us a chapter, Father?
Yes, my son. Thou anointest my head with oil.
And now they have left too. The only one left in the house is Hugh.
One line to Owen and Will, down to Cape Town to Angharad, and you are a star, shining on them from this house, all the way across the continents and the oceans.
All the way? I know where they are. Without any old maps or scratches or spiders or pencils.
But they're not here.
They are in the house.
They are in your heart. And you are in theirs.
Then Angharad came back from Cape Town without her husband.
There is grown you are, and changed.
You too.
Tell me all the news. How is...
Mr. Griffith.
How are all the boys and girls we used to know?
Mr. Griffith, still first up and last to bed.
Is he ill?
Inside, like you.
Now then, Mrs. Evans, tea is it?
Why did she glare at him like that? He just wanted to help.
I will pour.
Well,
Where?
I always did the pouring for Mr. Yestin's poor mother. A new mistress is like new sheets. A little bit stiff, but washing's to come.
Why'd you have her here?
37 years with the family. So she tells me 60 times a day.
Have some tea, you.
Isn't she going to ask about the family? Ivor?
Only the housekeeper I am. 37 years in the family. And living to curse the day. What is it, Mrs. Nicholas?
What? Sure. Can't say it out loud.
Divorce. Saying nothing I am. It is because she is in love with this preacher. Mr. Griffith it is.
But Mr. Griffith has not been near the house.
What difference is that, girl?
Gossip.
You will not say a word, Mrs. Nicholas.
Oh, no.
No. They won't say a word, but everybody's gonna know. That boxing is coming handy.
So now a blackness spread over the minds of its people.
Gossip in such a small town can really be terrible.
Even John, he said things about Angharad and Mr. Griffith.
Gossip spread like wildfire.
And if they do this thing, I will never set foot in the chapel again as long as I live.
The deacon's meeting over Angharad.
But she has done nothing.
Nothing is enough for people who have minds like cesspools.
Word. She doesn't have to do anything.
None of us will be there. The disgrace will not stay away.
I will go, Mother.
They just have to think that she's guilty. And then she's guilty. Even though she has not gone to see Mr. Griffith. Even though she has not actually done anything. They will punish her for it.
This is the last time I will talk in this chapel. I am leaving the valley with regret.
And he hasn't done anything either. He made his choice.
They're cowards, too, as well as hypocrites. The idle tongues, the poverty of mind, mean that I have failed to reach most of you with the lesson I was given to teach. I thought when I was a young man that I would conquer the world with truth. But only a few of them heard. Only a few of you understood. The rest of you put on black and sat in chapel. Why do you come here? I know why you've come. Fear has brought you here. Horrible, superstitious fear. Fear of divine retribution. But you have forgotten the love of Jesus. Hold your meeting then. But know if you do this in the name of God, you blaspheme against him and his word.
That was a real speech.
Wait! There is a meeting, Master Morgan.
He can choose not to attend.
Mr. Griffith, won't you see Aunt Harriet before you go? She wants you to.
If I were to see her again,
He might never leave
I
her.
couldn't find the strength to leave her.
Another accident.
Cave in, they're saying.
Take me up by there.
Your eyes are no longer good in the daylight from the blows you have taken in the rain.
I can still swing a pig deeper than anyone.
All that coal dust would eventually kill them, lurking in their lungs. There's no one else. The coal mine has taken Hugh's brother and his father.
Who is for Gwillem Morgan and the others?
I, for one, he is the blood of my heart.
I will hold your coat.
Hugh can barely fit through there. That looks bad.
There's a good old man you are.
He came to me just now. He spoke to me and told me of the glory he had seen.
They actually brought his body. I thought his body would be stuck down there forever.
Men like my father cannot die. They are with me still, real in memory as they were in flesh. How green was my valley then.
Oh, how green was my valley. But it is green no more. And then Hugh lived with Bronwyn and his mother for the next 50 years of his life, until everyone has passed away and he decided to wrap his belongings in a shawl that his mother used to wear to the market. And then he decides to leave the valley. Did Aunt Harriet end up being with Mr. Griffith? It's highly unlikely. Even though Griffith made his choice and he chose to devote himself to his work, people still accuse him of whatever they were accusing him of. Isn't there a saying where the idle mind is the devil's playground? Well, the idle tongue is also the work of evil. All this gossip. I like Mr. Griffith's speech when he said that the reason they attend the chapel on Sunday is due to fear, not due to love. They fear punishment because they know they have sinned, but they do not embrace the love even though I'm not of the religion, but I agree with what he said and I like his speech. This entire story, it's a tragic one. It's a sad life story. It talks about a lot of things, such as how companies would treat workers, firing off the workers who are demanding high pay because there are many other workers who are desperate enough to receive very cheap pay, very low pay. People don't have to go to school, study for years just to get a license to become a coal miner. That's why the company can easily get more workers if they want to. You could work there for years, you could be one of the best, but they can just discharge you, they can just fire you one day out of the blue without any warning. Such is the life of the coal miners in this story. And then there's the love between Mr. Griffith and Angharad, a love that will never be. Mr. Griffith has made his choice in life and he stood by his choice. But even then, even though he chose to be loyal to his work and the chapel, they still drove him out. And then there's Hugh's education, his school. Even though his father sent him to school and he graduated after such effort that he put into studying, in the end he chose to work in the coal mines just like his brothers. Is it because he wanted to prove something? Or is it because he wanted to stay with his parents? I don't know. But he made his choice. He could have been a lawyer, he could have been a doctor, he could have been something else. He could have taken another job. But he didn't. So many ups and downs in this story, but I feel like there are more downs than there are ups. Overall, I think this is a great movie, although a very sad movie. It kept me into the story, it kept me invested in the story, even though it's about 2 hours long, because each moment tells a story of a character in the movie. In the end, Hugh grew up to be a man, but at what cost? He grew up too fast. He was forced to grow up, considering everything that had happened to him and his family. One last thing I'd like to add is I remember how Hugh and Angharad, how they called to each other. Let me just play that again. The way they called to each other really reminded me of Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. I understand now why some of your comments in the Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte video mention the way they called for Charlotte's almost like in this movie. Yeah, I get it now. This movie, How Green Was My Valley, I think it can also be equated to How Good Was My Life. All these happy memories he had during childhood, and then it all just changed. One day it's all just different, and you look back and you think, yeah, those were the days. Even now, if I think back, it's like, yeah, I agree. How green was my valley. But no matter what, we are where we are now, and you are where you are now. We just have to push on and keep going. Change is the only thing that's constant. Things will constantly change. Wherever you are in life, I hope that everything goes smoothly for you. I hope that everything goes well. Sometimes we just have to accept that it is what it is. What do you think of How Green Was My Valley? Let me know your thoughts about this movie down in the comments below. Thanks for watching it with me. I hope you enjoyed my reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.